How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well, and I want to say thank you for joining me today on this menu number 20. Italian sausages with peppers and onions in a marinara sauce. This is manufactured by MRE. This is menu number 20, and this is out of a Case B 2022. So, yeah, there's not much to see here. Let's get into this guy. I think everyone's going to really enjoy this MRE. And this guy seems like he's going to be a little tough. Yeah. They cut the top a little short, so it's really tough to get your fingers in there to peel that seal. Yeah, I'm not able to. So let's just slice this guy open. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, so right off the back, we already know that this is an MRE, so it is going to be double bagged like this. Our first thing we have is going to be the Italian sausages with peppers and onions and in a marinara sauce. This is an 8-ounce main, 227 grams. We got 19 grams of protein, 17 grams of carbs, 270 calories. We have a trail mix recovery with beef jerky. 2.2 ounces or 62 grams, 260 calories, 11 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs. I really don't know why they have to name things a certain way. Like recovery, what's the recovery about? You know, can't they just say trail mix with beef jerky? I don't know. If anyone knows, throw it in there. We have an accessory packet, and it looks like it is a full one. Yep. We'll get into that shortly. We have cranberries, Ismotic, 190 calories, 0 grams of protein, 0 grams of protein, 190 calories. Yeah, that looks like it. 41 grams of sugar. This is a 2-ounce package, 57 grams. Not much to see there. We got crackers, 1.33 ounces or 37.8 grams, 170 calories, 28 grams of carbs, 4 grams of protein. We have some dry roasted peanuts, 1 ounce, 28 grams, 160 calories, 4 grams of carbs, 7 grams of protein. Chocolate peanut butter spread, 1 ounce, 28 grams, 150 calories, 9 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein. Not a big fan of this. Look at this. 2 beverage bases, and they are orange. That's a treat. I've been noticing some weird things in this case. Double spoons. Yeah. I don't know. We got, let's see, what is the nutritional information on this? We got 3.2 grams. This adds to 20 ounces of bottled water. Let's see, 5 calories. It's so hard to read these little packages. 5 calories, 0 grams of protein. 2 of them. That's a treat. 1 MRE utensil, spoon, a flameless ration heater, a hot beverage bag. Anytime you see a hot beverage bag, you instantly know you're getting coffee. We have 20 sheets of toilet paper or tissues. We have a 0-calorie sweetener, cinnamon chewing gum, regular packet of Enjoy sugar, packet of Brill's Brew, 1.5 grams. We have a non-dairy creamer, 20 calories, 0 grams of protein, 2 grams of carbs. Small packet of sugar, and a moist towelette. And I think this is the second time I noticed that there was no matches. Now, I really don't care if there's matches in it or not, but are they phasing matches out because this is the second time, or is that just a packing error? Let me know what you think. Either way, we're going to plate this up, and we are going to heat this up with a flameless ration heater, and we're going to see how this meal comes out. Stand by. Okay, we're back. Everything is plated up, and we're going to start by first heating up our main. That's going to take the longest. So I'm just going to move this stuff up here just so we have a better view. And we're going to use our hot beverage bag for our coffee. So let's get that set up. Now, in all honesty, these things will leak really bad. So if you're going to use them in the field, try to keep them upright. We're most likely going to have leakage out of this, but for the viewing purpose, we're going to deal with it. We'll get our napkins ready. All right. We're not using our 0-calorie sweetener, so that goes in the garbage. All right, so we got our Brill's Brew. That looks fantastic. I can see this bag's already not going to cooperate. Got our Brill's Brew in there. Our non-dairy creamer. And our entire pack of sugar. I'm only going to use about 8 ounces. There we go. And close that up. Fold that over. Give it a little vigorous shake. We're going to let the air out of it. All right. All right, we're just going to put that on the side for now. And we're going to use this contraption today. This is a piece of packing foam, high density foam. I think it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Coated it in some duct tape, folded it over, taped it again. You'd be surprised how well that keeps the MRE insulated. I'm talking like 110 degrees when you take it out. That's the temperature of the meal. The MRE FRH, it's like 220. So we're gonna sacrifice one of these. And we're going to double side this because I want this meal extremely hot. In all honesty, with this bag, it probably will be sufficient on bringing the meal up to temperature. But I want it super hot. So we're going to just slide this in here. I'll put this one in the front. See, we got one in the front, we got one in the back. We're going to spike it with salt. The sodium helps the chemical reaction kick off even faster. Some people mix the water and the salt together and then pour it in. I've done it both ways, and honestly, I don't see a difference. One way isn't more reactive than the other. Right, and we don't need this now. And I've also slid these in here and put them in the bag. And if you're in the field and you're limited on space, you know, you don't want to carry something like this, then this will suffice. But this isn't really insulated. If you wrap a shirt, a sweatshirt, a towel, that will really make a difference. But just for purposes, we're going to do this one today. I kind of like this. This actually worked out pretty good. All right, so we're going to put double amount of water because we got 2 pads. We're going to massage that water in. One side and the other side. Yeah, and I can already feel that taking off. All right, and we got to squeeze our pouch, slide that right in there. Prop it up with our rock. We're going to add our coffee to this. Just like that. I'm going to throw our peanut butter in there. Just like that. Yeah, and that's nothing else. Nothing else in there to get cooked. And that thing is cooking. Look at that. Wow, that is really taking off. Some good heaters right there. All right, we spilt a little water. Let's clean off our workstation. We have our orange beverage base. Alright, that looks like that's about 20 ounces. Alright, we got dry roasted peanuts. We got our cranberries. You know what I should have done? If you ever get 2 beverages, particularly the grape, you can pour some of the powder inside your cranberries, and they're usually coated with sunflower oil. It'll help stick this drink mix onto the cranberries. What a fantastic treat that tastes like. But I don't know if the cranberries really go with the orange, so I like doing it when we get the grape. I really like these. I think the beef jerky is pretty good and it goes well with the almonds. What I don't understand is why did they give you cranberries? If they're already giving you cranberries in this menu, why didn't they just give you more almonds or more beef jerky to make up the caloric difference of the cranberries? Because now we're overlapping here. That don't make sense. Alright, and the crackers. I like slicing them both ways so we don't have to fight to get the crackers out. All right, and they look perfect. I see a little cracks on them, but for the most part, they look good. All right, and we have our gum. We don't need that. All right, let's look at the beef jerky. So we got cranberries, we got almonds. The almonds look really good. Very mildly roasted. Good chew to them, good almond flavor. Cranberries, they're cranberries. They're nice and large. They're not too sweet. And I think they go perfect with the beef jerky. I don't know. I'm criticizing the cranberries being mixed in, but they do actually go well with it. A little bit of savory, a little bit of sweet. It's a good menu. And the almonds really do finish it off nicely. Let's try our orange drink. Good flavor. There's a little aftertaste from that orange flavor, but it's not too offensive. Cranberries again, they're decent. They're definitely different from what's in here. You see, I mean, even the color looks different. Not terribly different. These actually look larger. These actually look like just halves. And these are kind of like bits and pieces. But either way, they're sweet with a little tart. They're not too dry. And they're not too oily. So it's a pretty good combination. Peanuts, dry roasted. They are salted. Actually, before I mix them all in, let's try cranberries with some peanuts. Yep, that's the way to do that. Just mix these all in together. That would have made more sense. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes for this. We're going to let that cook for a full 10 to 18 minutes. And we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. It's been a solid 20 minutes. This thing's already springing a leak. I'm trying to mop up some of that before it gets too sticky. Alright, I went and got some grated Parmesan cheese and some crushed red pepper because Italian sausage and peppers, we need some pepper flakes and some cheese. So I'm cheating a little, but that's okay. I think you guys will understand that. Wow, this thing is absolutely smoking hot. And if you don't believe me, watch this steam come off this. Wow, this bag's even too hot to touch. That's hot. Oh my God, that's hot. That's too hot. Let's actually see how hot it is. It's 161 degrees. 162.3. That's crazy. Alright, well, I asked for it. I wanted hot, and that's what I got. And this is going to be smoking hot. I'm going to put that right here because I don't want to put that on my spot. And let's see how hot this pad got. It's 184 degrees. get into this guy. Wow. Wow, that is hot. Holy mackerel, that's smoking hot. Wow. If you say your meals don't get hot enough with an FRH, you haven't tried two of them. And insulated. $154 degrees. That's hot. And this peanut butter is like peanut butter chocolate. It's going to be perfect with it being this watery. Alright, so we're going to put some of these crackers in here. Because we're not going to have enough peanut butter for 2 crackers. I'm going to get a mess here. All right. I know this doesn't come with the MRE, but I couldn't resist putting it on. And I had this menu 100 times before, so I know how it tastes. It's good. And we're going to put in the crushed red peppers. There we go. I don't want too much. I don't want it to be overpowering, too hot. We'll put these on the side. All right, for now, for this guy. Watch how this stuff runs out. I love it when you warm this stuff up. Warm up your peanut butter. You'll really be surprised how it comes out. I think it's actually creamier, and I love how when it's warm or hot, how it just runs out of the pouch and then it sets up almost like an icing. I think ever since I started warming this stuff up, I've kind of enjoyed eating it more. All right. That would be killer on a Pop-Tart. That's what actually reminded me when I looked at it just now, a Pop-Tart. All right, we're just going to put this on the side for now. All right, let's look at our sausage, peppers, and onions in a marinara sauce. That actually looks pretty inviting. All right. We've got nice cuts of Italian sausage. There's a nice chunk of tomato right there. I got a nice onion. Let's go in for a bite and hopefully I don't burn my tongue. Perfect. It's processed. I mean, come on, it's Italian sausage. It's not going to be fresh. But it's a nice touch. And I guarantee you, if you were in the field or you were hungry enough, this would taste amazing. And it still does taste amazing. I'm not saying that it doesn't. You have to be super hungry to enjoy something like this. But really, let's face it, for a retort pouch meal that can store for 10 years, this is pretty impressive. It's a little chewy. You know, it's the texture. You can tell it's a formed disc, like a little sausage disc. But it's not bad. That portion actually was a little too hot. I feel like I almost burned myself again. Excuse me while I cool off my mouth. Again, I'm not a big fan of the orange. It's has a weird aftertaste to it. But I think it's better than drinking water. Try with some crackers. Wow, when you're making a mess, 20 sheets of napkins really don't go far. Let's see if that coffee is cooled down a little bit. That's pretty good, but it's still kind of too hot. And honestly, I'm kind of impressed. I've never seen a meal get that hot in that bag. I mean, granted, I'm using 2 FRHs, but if you're using one, this meal would definitely be warm enough to eat, even if you're outdoors. Wintertime, yeah, then I would say use 2. But as I'm doing these reviews, I think a lot of the menus in Case A, I boiled. After I showed the initial setup and how we use the FRHs, I think I want to say about 5 or 6 meals I boiled to bring them up to temperature. I had these FRHs sitting around, so if you get into these meals, you're definitely going to have FRHs. Start packing up, like, stockpiling them. Use them. I always bring 2 FRHs when I bring meals out in the field. I bring this pouch and I warm them up. Sometimes both FRHs work great. Sometimes only one kicks off and the food is just warm enough to eat. I really like this menu. This menu easily goes down quickly. The crackers go nicely with it. We got a nice amount of herbs in this tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is not too thick. I think it's the viscosity of it. It's perfect for this meal. It's not too acidic. It's an all-around good meal. I like this meal a lot. This meal has never disappointed me. All right, we're almost done here. You can tell when a meal is good when you just blow right into it. All right, that was a pleasure to eat. The red pepper flakes really brought out the flavor of the tomato sauce. These I'm really enjoying. The cranberries with the peanuts, and more so these. Something about this beef jerky, the cranberry, and the almonds is a really good combination. This beef jerky has some great flavor to it. It's nice and smoky with a touch of sweetness, and it's really not that hard to chew. It's got a decent moisture content, and it really brings out the flavor. You got the savory, you got the sweet and sour, and the nuts put a nice overtone on it. And these are not roasted too much at all. They almost have like a raw kind of texture to it where they're still soft almost. All right, I tell you, this coffee's so hot it's got me sweating. But it's actually nice having a little warmer cup of coffee than usual that came out of an FRH. So that is a treat. I'm not complaining. All right, our last component. Look how that's set up nicely. Let's give that a try. That is really good when it's warmed up. I think it helps it reincorporate itself into the peanut butter and the chocolate. When it's warm, it's liquidy, and then after it cools, it sets up nicely. What I disliked about this before I started warming them up, they were really hard to work with. You had to knead it a lot, then to incorporate everything, and then squeeze it out and smear it with a spoon. This is the way to go. Warm it up in your FRH, get it hot, Comes out like liquid. Spread it on whatever you have, whether it's a cookie, an oatmeal cookie, crackers. Maybe even on top of this, drizzle it on, mix it up. That could kind of be interesting. That is really good. I really wish they would bring back the old formulation of the crackers, salted, because this would be killer with just a touch of salt. Okay, I think we're pretty much done here. This was menu number 20, Italian sausages with peppers and onions in a marinara sauce by the MRE. This was a great menu. Really was. I like the cranberries with the peanuts. I think next time I have this menu, I'm going to actually maybe pour this in to the peanut, the cranberries, the chocolate peanut butter. I think that salt on the peanut butter, the salt on the roasted peanuts would really accentuate the taste of this. Recovery trail mix. Why did it call it recovery? What are we recovering from? That trail mix is fixing was outstanding. The cranberries are larger than what's in this pack. They're not crystallized. They're nice, huge chunks. They got a really good moisture content. Almonds, perfect. They're not over roasted. They're not salted. And the beef jerky, great smoky flavor with just the right hint of sweetness. And they're not too dry. Perfect moisture content. Just in case you got sensitive teeth, you can put these in your mouth and they will soften up over time. The meatballs in marinara with onions sauce was outstanding. The peanut butter chocolate on the cracker, heated up, perfect. I think I'm starting to come around to this. Never really liked it before, but I think warming it up is the way to go, and it really brings out the flavor. All right, our next menu is going to be tuna, chunk, light, water-packed lemon and pepper. Boy, online, people actually hate this menu. I'm not really, I don't care about tuna. I'll eat it. I eat sushi. I like fish. I like canned tuna. I like tuna fish. So I had this a few times. I think it's pretty decent. I think it's a great light menu. Something a little different from a meat-based and sauce-based MRE. So this is going to be a good one. Stay tuned for it. Menu number 21. That's coming up next. And I want to say again, thank you for everyone. Like, subscribe, share. If you want to get early access to these meals, check out my membership page. It's like $1.50 for a membership. Every time I drop a video, you'll have access to it before anyone else. Again, I want to say thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.